So what you just listened to was the New Zealand All Blacks haka. So if you're into rugby, you know who the New Zealand All Blacks are. They happen to be my favorite rugby team. And they do the haka, which is a war dance. And they do it before every match that they go into. And basically the haka is a ceremony dance that originated with the Maori people of New Zealand and is known as the war challenge or the war cry. All tribal people, all military, they all had some type of war dance or war cry. When it was time to go into battle, they would get, this is a way that we call today getting ourselves hyped up before we do something. You would see athletes, they put on their headphones and they have some type of music. It may be mellow music, it may be hard music, it may be rap, it may be rock, it may be headbanger, it could be whatever that individual like. If we look at back over ancient civilization and look at the different tribes and the different war cries, the American Indians have their own war cry with the drums beating. So does tribes from Africa, the Zulus. They are one of the most famous people for their war cries, and you'll see some of them jumping up as they're doing their war cry. This is for two reasons. One, to get themselves hyped up, and the other is to intimidate their opponent. And like I said, New Zealand All Blacks, the Maori people who are the natives of New Zealand, they use the haka before most of their sporting events as one tribute to their ancestors and their histories and of who they are, but also to get themselves hyped up and put a little fear in their opponent. And if you were to take a look at when they do this, their faces is hard and they're like, and it's just, it really gets you pumped up watching them. So why am I talking about this? And oh yeah, by the way, welcome to day 60 of 100 days of bad videos. So why am I talking about this? There are going to be times in your life, you're going to be going through situations in your life where you're just going to need to get yourself pumped up. You're going to need a war cry. Whatever you face may be so big that you like, I need to get myself hyped up before this. I need my war cry. And if you have a team of people, they may do it with you. And oh, there's strength in numbers. We talked about yesterday having gratitude. And we talked about the day before inspiration, and everything that I talked about over the last few days. It's not about just you. You always have people behind you, and that's your team. And when you and your team can get on one accord and get on the same page and get yourself hyped up right before you go to do something big, whatever your war cry is. Your war cry doesn't have to be loud, by the way. It doesn't have to be something that, is big and exciting. It could be silence. Ooh, there's so much power in silence. Sometimes we overlook silence. We take silence for granted. But there's a lot of power in silence. Think about it. Someone says something to you and you just look at them. You don't have to say anything. That silence is so powerful. It says a whole lot. Whatever your war cry is, and if you don't have one, get one, because you're going to need it. Whatever gets you pumped up when you're doing something big or when you're about to go through something major, you need a war cry. So whatever your war cry is, let it out. Let it out of you, however it needs to come out of you. My personality, I'm a big person, so my war cry is I'm getting hyped. That's why I like the All Blacks, the haka, because it gets you into it, and it's just amazing. So that's a quick talk on today. Hopefully you got something out of it. Even if you didn't, I'm sorry. Once again, this is one of those talks where I do it for everybody, but most of all, I do it for me because I have to have my war cry, and that is my war cry. My war cry is listening to the hakas and the New Zealand people, or I'll listen to some Zulu war cries and with the drums beating and American Indian. All of that, it gets me going, and so I'm going right now. And as you can see, I'm all into it. So with that being said, there's only one thing left to say. Life gives you two choices. You can either run with the big dogs or you can stay on the porch with the pups. My name is Aaron Allen, and I choose to run with the big dogs. See you out there running.